Today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite authors of all time, Edgar Allan Poe. He was, I'm sure everyone has read a few of his stories. He's the master of Gothic horror, some people call him. All of his stories include tales of madness and murder. And not only was he a famous short story writer, during his life he was more well known as a magazine editor and a literary critic. And his life was completely crazy. He was an orphan by the age of 3, he was a drunk, he was completely unstable, and he was a West Point dropout. He was also the creator of the detective short story. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the authors of the Sherlock Holmes series, titled him that. So, Poe was born in Boston in January 1809. He was born into a very artistic family, and both his mother and father were actors, and they traveled around America, and by the age of 3, his father had abandoned the family, and his mother had died of tuberculosis. So then he was taken in by a wealthy man named John Allan, and him and Allan never had a good relationship, so until Poe was about 18, he spent his life trying to please him, and then he joined the army at the age of 18 to try to impress him and get money out of him. And he enlisted under the name Edgar A. Perry, and told them that he was 4 years older than he actually was. He spent 2 years in the army and then was accepted into West Point, but he got kicked out a year later because he wasn't attending classes. He worked as a magazine editor for the rest of his life on. He was known as a harsh literary critic. Everyone didn't really like him because he would always give bad reviews of people's stories. And 25 of his short stories and poems were published through his work. And he even tried to publish his own literary magazine, but it failed. In 1835, at the age of 26, he married Virginia Clem. And Virginia Clem was his 13-year-old cousin. And he loved her, though, and they spent a happy life together until her death. And 1845, he published The Raven, which I'm sure everyone knows The Raven, his most popular work. And even though this was the height of his success, it was really a dark time in his life, and everything kind of went downhill after that. His wife died of tuberculosis, and then he was engaged twice more, but they both left him for other men, and he began drinking more, became even more unstable, and he just had a horrible life after that. And on October 7th, 1845, he was found in the street drunk and delirious, and this was probably the most mysterious part of his life. They took him to a hospital, and he died before he could tell anyone what had happened. So he just mysteriously died, and some people have theories of what happened, and it was like suicide, murder, influenza, and cooping, which was a practice in the 1800s where basically extremely violent ballot stuffing, where they would just get people drunk and then force them to go vote a million times in elections. But he died that day after. And some of his other works, I have about 6 up there. I was just going to talk about 3, but first one, The Fall of the House of Usher. That was his first story that really got him popular. He was published through his current work. And then The Murder in the Rue Morgue was the one that started the stories with the detective C. August Dupin, which the stories earned him the title of the creator of detective stories. And The Telltale Heart, this is my personal favorite. And it was the most popular during his own lifetime. The Raven got more popular after he died, but a lot of people like this one the best. The story follows an unnamed narrator, like most of his stories. Most of them are unnamed. And he speaks to the reader and tries to convince him of his sanity after he just killed a man, and dismembered him and stuffed him under his floorboards in his living room. And the cops come try to question him, and he hears a heartbeat and believes that the police can hear it too, but they're actually just mocking him. So he rips up the floorboard and then shows them the corpse and confesses to his murder. The next one, the Raven. This is where the quote, "The Raven Nevermore," that's on a million different things. It's a lot of people think it was based off of his wife Virginia after she died, because it follows a man who's just lost the love of his life, and he is visited by a raven that he believes is a messenger from the other side trying to tell him something about his love. He only actually made $9 when he first published this, and now it's probably made millions. So, the next one, The Cast of Amontillado. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, actually. It's about a man who tries to seek revenge on another and gets him drunk and takes him down to his wine cellar, underground wine cellar, and chains him to a wall and leaves him to die, which I think is probably one of the darkest stories of his. So that's it. I think that he's one of the most influential writers. He's influenced many genres, and even not just inside the horror genre. And even though he still had that crazy life, he was still really successful and talented. Thank you.